Yay.
Okay. I think we're live. So welcome to anybody who's already joining us for the Hangout for Advocate Europe. I'm just going to hang on a second before we get too much into the details, just to give people a chance to join us. And for those of you who already have joined us, there is the question and answer function, so you can give us a wave or say hello using that if you're already there. I should be able to see that. I can't actually see your faces, unfortunately. So you can see me and I can't see you, which is a little bit disconcerting, but hopefully it will be okay. So, as you may also be able to see, we have Christina and Corinna here from MitOst, who are the organizers of the Advocate Europe. And they'll be taking your questions and doing a presentation about the competition in a couple of minutes. For those of you, oh, now I can see we have 2 viewers. I hope that's not me and you, Christina. So for those of you who don't know the Changer already, the Changer is a platform which helps people to develop their careers. So we provide lots of information, job offers, events and news from the sector. Hi there, I can see we've just got another 2 viewers joined us, another 2. Okay, hi guys, I'm just doing a quick introduction before we get started, just so that we can see if we can get a few more viewers together before we launch into the content. So thanks very much for joining us. As I mentioned already, I can't see you, but you can see me hopefully. And you're also able to submit questions through the question and answer function. So if you can't hear me or I'm not speaking clearly enough, then please just write your question underneath the video, and I should be able to see it and then answer your question. Okay, so I think we'll just get started. I'll pass over to Corinna and Christina in a minute. As I mentioned, they're from MitOst, so they'll be able to give you all of the information that you need if you're interested in taking part in Advocate Europe. And there they are. So without further ado, I'll pass on to them. As I said, please feel free to submit your questions directly into the Google Plus Hangout page, and then we should be able to see them and we'll be able to answer them as we go along.
Yeah, so I'll take over. Hi, out there, Europe. We are Christina and Corinna from Advocate Europe, and we're very happy to be here, and we're very curious to hear your questions. Before we start answering the questions, we already got some from you beforehand. Before we start with that, we would shortly present Advocate Europe, the Idea Challenge, just to show you the website a little bit and to tell you about the process, the deadlines, 3 minutes so that you get an overview what we are looking for exactly. So, as you may know, and maybe I tell you something that is, oh yeah, we have this very nice function, the screen share. So we take you to our website right now. As you may know, we are in Idea Challenge for Europe. We are looking for unconventional and creative project ideas that are strengthening connection and cohesion in Europe. And up to 10 project ideas will win up to 50,000 euro each and will get mentoring and support for implementing their idea. But how does it all work?
I will shortly present how our platform works. First, you have to join, you have to register on our platform in order to submit an idea. And afterwards, after the deadline, which is the 8th of March 2016, you will all the ideas will be reviewed, and up to 50 ideas will be on the short list. The short list will land to the an expert jury, which will choose the winning ideas, and they will be funded up to 50,000 euros. Additionally, they will also receive mentoring and support from us throughout the realization period, which brings me another important piece of information is that all of you who join our platform can submit an idea, but can also support by clicking here the favorite idea. So you don't necessarily need to submit an idea, but you can also support and like and comment. You can leave comments and you can give feedback and you know, just try to build an active community who exchange the ideas. And additionally, I want to emphasize that those projects who have the most votes, they will receive the community award, which is 5,000 euros.
Right. So, and what are we looking for exactly now? We will come to this later, maybe, if we're really looking and answering your questions. But just let you know what we are looking for. This is if you think about Europe nowadays, and if you're following the news or the media, then you maybe know that Europe is really at the crossroads right now. And our vision is a united Europe that is really believing in a common ideas of freedom, of democracy, and of open-mindedness, and of tolerance, of course. And we are looking for project ideas that are now a little bit creative, that are innovative, which are unusual approaches and useful solutions for this what is happening in Europe right now. And our advocates, how we call them, our people behind these projects, they are creative thinkers and really people who want to change the daily life and the future, which we will all live in.
Maybe that sounds a bit abstract, but we are at the second round and we already have our first round of winners, and you can check on our website who are the winners, and you can read the description of the projects, and you can also download the PDF with more information about it.
Okay, so let's go back to our hangout, and I think we have some questions, right?
Yeah, thank you very much. So we had like a few questions which were submitted before, so we'll just start with those. And to all of those who are watching out there at the moment, you can still submit your questions as we're going along. So if you just write them in the text box underneath the video on the page, we should be able to see them, and then we'll be able to answer them. So the first question, which we're going to go to, is you mentioned just now as well that special attention will be given to ideas that are based on unusual partnerships. Can you maybe give a little bit more detail about what that means exactly?
Yeah, so unusual partnerships is really an interesting question, because we're looking for, this is not a must, but it's like really nice to have this, not just for the competition, but maybe also for you who is submitting the proposal, because what we mean with unusual partnerships is like an unconventional partnership. And that can be across geographical borders, across sectors, coming from different fields, but working on the same topic. And you ask for really practical examples. And these could be like, we're really curious to see what is happening if a guy, let's say, or a woman, whatever, from IT is working together with the cultural sector. Or if someone from the environmental area is working together with dancers. So what is happening then? And this goes back to what we said before, that we are looking for really unconventional things. That what is happening if people from different perspectives, from different views, different approaches also are working together and are coming from different fields, different countries, different languages, and this brings together really a new spirit, let's say.
Okay, cool. So just to clarify, that means also that you fund very early stage projects, right? Because that's something, this kind of collaborative element is something which a lot of funders don't fund. You know, they want you to have really proven your concept and have all of this background and a proper organization set up, and not just kind of individuals with ideas. So can you just maybe say something more about that?
Yeah, so this is like maybe what you said, quite unique for Advocate Europe, that we say, okay, we really want young and fresh initiatives that have this idea and say, okay, we really want to do this, because it's really important for Europe nowadays, and is tackling really an issue that is discussed a lot, maybe, let's say, the refugees crisis or whatever. And last year we really had 2 or 3 initiatives that submitted a proposal, but they hadn't established an association yet. So they got the money from us, and after that they said, okay, now we can really register as an NGO, which is fundamental for getting the money. So you really need the organization afterwards, but for the application itself, you don't have to be a registered NGO. Okay, cool. So the second question, which Giovanni submitted, was whether you have useful suggestions about how we can evaluate the money requests. So I guess how much money that they want to actually get from the award. What would be there? I'll show you online. I think the very quite useful tool is our financial plan. We have a template of financial plan where you can calculate how much money you want to spend for your project. If you don't know, I try this screen share again. Okay, let's go to the funding right here. This is our platform. If you click here on join, you can have it here under the FAQ. Let's see, will the jury ask us for further materials? Yes, they will. And then we have a financial plan template here. You can easily download it. It's an Excel. Let me just show you this one, where you can calculate your expenses for the total budget or for the project budget, as you might like it. We don't need it right now. So this means we will not ask you for a financial plan in this level, but if you make it to the short list, this 50 projects out of all submitted projects, then we will ask for a financial plan. But maybe this helps you just to calculate and to see how much expenses do I really have in this project.
Okay, cool. That's very useful, I think, even for people who aren't in the competition. Do you have any kind of guidelines in terms of how much of the project money can be for HR, or how much has to be for material goods, or is that just open depending on the project itself?
It's depending on the project, but of course you can spend the money for personal personal expenses, but which is not in every with every funding money possible. But of course you should see that the balance between the material costs, which are directly connected to the project, and the personal costs are like 1/3 to 2/3, so to say, so that it's not too much personal cost, that it's really money that is going directly in the project, and that is really that you have the most money spent there.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And then the final question here is the project description. So how short should it be versus how much detail should the project description include?
Maybe I will get this question. Well, ideally is in the first stage is to write as concise and as short as possible. And for us, it's important, you know, to get the glimpse. What are you aiming for? To see the impact chain and so forth. if you make it to the shortlist, then we will need more information from you. And maybe it's important to specify that you can maybe get also inspired from the winning projects from last year. They also had the same, more or less the same proposal form, and you can see how much information they provided in order to get shortlisted.
And they are still online.
Yeah.
So this is also a very, maybe this is also quite, you're thinking about, okay, why is it all open? Is it maybe a failure or something, a technical error? No, we really want that you see all the other proposals from the others, or the other applications, and you can still see the applications from last year. So you can have a look at the website also from the winning teams and to see what they proposed, and maybe this helps you.
And maybe something to add, we are aware of the fact that many of the projects out there are very, very complex, and it's very difficult to put them in such a short project proposal. But this is in a way a challenge to make it, you know, understandable for everybody, and not only for a few parts which are included in this. So yeah, just try to make this exercise to write a proposal which could understand also your mother or your grandmother. I don't know.
And to add this, last year we got nearly 600 proposals, which is quite a lot. So this is also, we really have to read a lot. The whole project team has to read a lot after the deadline. So
that also helps us when it's short in process.
That's a good tip. So how many people have submitted ideas already, just out of interest?
There are around 50.
Around 50 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that more or less than this time last year?
More. Last year it was, I looked it up today, and it was 35 or something, and now it's 50, so more. So we expect around 600 again, maybe more.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next question, which was from Julia Kramer. Her project is migrationmatters.me, and her question is, would they be eligible for Advocate Europe? I think in particular because they have a team which is based in Europe and in the US. And also based on their content, so connecting resources to read, watch and do to understand migration better and become a more informed voter and citizen. Is that the sort of thing that Advocate Europe would be supporting?
Well, we have read your question, and according to our selection criteria, you would be eligible. But of course, with this very little piece of information, we cannot really go further. Maybe another important detail is to mention that your idea has to be non-profit and to be represented by a non-profit organization. Maybe this is also a very important detail that you have to take into account. But I mean, if we maybe look deeper into the project proposal, maybe we can come with more feedback. But as you presented here, we could say, yeah, it's eligible. And another information would be that in case you want to, because that maybe leads also to the second question, how can they improve the chances to win? Well, just keep in mind this is an idea challenge. That means we are not, the ideas that others have can very much influence your idea. If you are maybe eager to know what the others out there think about it, you can also use our comment function. You can also, this is a very important thing, we have also a moderator team. You can approach them. There is Anya and Alex. And they ask questions, they give feedback, and you can also get involved and by using this function.
I'll show you on our website. Anya and Alex are already actively commenting on our website. Let's have a look. where they are. Right, here's Anya, an advocate, and she's asking questions, and this is also the main or the basic idea of Advocate Europe, that you have the chance during the application process to really improve your concept or your project idea, that you get live feedback from our moderators. We have two now, Alex and Anya, and they will comment. They will read through your proposal, and they will comment, and you have the possibility here, if I wait, I have an example idea down here, and I can show you. No, I can't show you, but if I would be in my proposal, I would see here a little button which is said editing, so I can edit it and change my idea, so that I have an iterative process, let's say, to really improve my concept live. And this live is maybe for some people like, okay, why should I do it live? But you have the chance to really get feedback from the whole crowd out there. And keep in mind that we have 30,000 users. And there are a lot of people now every day are going and checking our website. We see this every day when we're monitoring this. So you really have a chance to get feedback from really different people, not just from our team, but also from different people. So this is also a good idea to really upload it quite early, so that you have the time to get this feedback. Yep.
Yeah. Very good. Cool. Okay, so you just talked a little bit about eligibility. Maybe you could just say something about, was there some things that came up a lot last year where you had to kind of rule out a lot of people for that particular reason, where you'd say, okay, definitely watch out for this and this particular criteria. And on the other hand, what were the kind of things which really impressed you about the entries that you had last year, which you'd maybe like to see again this year?
Yeah, a very question that is asked very often is, of course, can I apply if I'm coming from this and that country? And I can show you with the screen share again. We have it on the website. What can be proposed? We have the eligibility criteria, selection criteria, and of course the terms of use of funding. And you have here the countries which we fund. And this is not just EU countries, but it's a wider Europe, let's say. So if you're coming from these countries, it's possible. We always have questions also from the US or whatever. This is not possible, of course, because it's an European idea challenge. And which is also a quite common question, is a very individual question: does my idea fit to Advocate Europe? And this is, of course, about the selection criteria. So you really have to fit to our selection criteria, the European dimension, strange Europe, connection and cohesion in Europe, to be innovative, to really have a creative idea with maybe a new approach or this unusual partnership. And then, is your idea connected to daily life? If you have these three selection criteria, then it's good. So let's say then it does fit to Advocate Europe. But of course, this is always a very individual question, so that we really have to know your project first. And you can't really answer this in general. But these are the two main questions, let's say.
Maybe to add something to that, when you think about it, I mean, as I mentioned, you can also get inspired a bit from our winning projects, because you will see they address refugees issues, sustainability issues, or project that deals with the labor market in Europe. So these kind of things that are really everyday, like they are part of our daily life. So maybe this will help you a bit further.
Yeah, and I remember also some questions who were like, okay, my idea, I really want to build something like a construction site, to build a cafe, and then to to have there something that is non-profit. So can I do this? Can I use the money for this one? And this is like an idea. This is a good idea, of course, to build a cafe, maybe with a charitable background also, but you can't use the money for construction. This is not possible. It is possible, but just if it's a project itself, like we had last year, this project called Refugees for Co-Creative Cities, and they rebuilt an abandoned building together with refugees. So they had the topic of integration, of course, of inclusion, and of rebuilding an abandoned building in an area where it's really, which is struggling with infrastructure. So they had different topics connected and combined, and then they used this money for construction. But otherwise, it's a little bit, let's say, complicated.
Okay, so presumably, if you were building something, I mean, your project has to be in more than one country in Europe, is that right?
It doesn't have to be in one. I mean, it depends very much. It has to have an European dimension. What does it mean? It's up to your project. It can also mean that you are working with people, I don't know, in a country that are coming from, I don't know where, from Europe. I don't know. It can also link to other cities in Europe. It's very, it's worth discussing it. I mean, we don't want to say, yes, your project has to include other 3 European cities. It's not our aim. It's up to your idea.
Yeah, that's where it's maybe a bit different to European funding, because, like, for example, European funding, you often have to have project partners in other cities, in other countries, right? But that's not a stipulation for you guys.
No, but you should make clear what is your European dimension. Then we have last year we had a lot of projects who were locally, who were really also strong projects and tackling an issue which was in their situation, very locally, very helpful, also very great projects. But we said, okay, where's the European dimension? If it's not connected to a topic. Like, let's say, democratic or borders or whatever, which is a financial crisis, which is current in Europe right now, then it's quite hard. If it's just locally bound and you don't want to show how you want to transfer this to Europe. We had, like, last year a winning project which is working with youth unemployment, and they have an approach, and they brought this approach to other European countries, and that was their project idea. So this is something that works, that you have really, this came from the cultural sector. They worked a lot with theater, and which was also unusual to work with young unemployed people with theater methods, and then they built up partnerships in different countries and brought it and worked together with them and brought this method, this approach to other European countries. This works also well, but you see the connection to the topic is very important. If you're doing something, this is just possible in your very own city, then it's quite hard to understand why is there this European dimension.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So, any viewers out there, just to remind you that you can submit questions as well using the question and answer function of the video. So if you want to know something from Christina and Corinna about your particular project before you submit, then now's the time to submit that question. Let me just see. So we already talked a little bit about what it means to foster connection and cohesion in Europe. Maybe you guys could say just something about the winners from last year and what's happened since last year with those guys.
We had this one project. Maybe I show you on the website. Gern. So I have the winners here. This is the one, the POC21. They had their innovation camp. Wait, let's see. Maybe I can open also the PDF. Here they are. So they had an innovation camp for 6 weeks last year near Paris. They worked together with an initiative from France, and they brought together, as you see here on this nice graphic, architects, designers, scientists, and engineers, and they worked on 10 open source tools. So this means that they said, okay, let's really try to develop open source tools and sustainable tools for our future. And they did this like in a parallel event to the climate conference in Paris in December. Because they said they are just talking, but we really want to do something. So we really want to change something. So let's gather 10 people from different fields. And as you see here, this is also quite a good example for unusual partnerships, because they brought together designers, architects, as I mentioned, scientists, really different people were there, and they were working on tools which are now available open source online. So this is also their very unique idea of shaping a new future. They are really believing in this open source idea and are really living ahead of their times, you could say. So this was really innovative from the approach, and also from the outcome very interesting for us.
Cool. And how much money were they awarded? Are you allowed to say that?
You can see it online. Everything is online, so we're not hiding anything. I think they got 48,000, so nearly 50,000.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and another project maybe
I would mention a bit what happens once you win.
Yeah, this is also interesting.
As we mentioned, we offer mentoring and support, and we meet twice in a networking. We organize a networking meeting where we share our ideas, we work and develop further our idea. We invite experts in different fields, and we offer workshops for them. For the participants, and they also have the chance, you know, to network with each other, to learn from each other, to exchange and so on. And we put lots of values, especially we are working at MitOst, and MitOst has a huge network. It's not only Advocate Europe, but it's beyond Advocate Europe. So once you are winning for Advocate Europe, you have access to a huge and very diversified network, and we also put lots of emphasis on that.
Yeah, and we really want to work with you. We're not just giving you the money and then let you go, but to really to be there if you have questions, if you maybe fail, or how we are saying here, fail forward, of course, because you have learnings afterwards. We really want to support you. It's your project, and of course you have to do this all. But yeah, as Karina said, we will meet twice with the whole network, and to really work with you, and to give you the time also to reflect on your project, if it's going the right way, or if you maybe have to change something, because you on the way you are discovering, okay, my project, it's a good idea, but maybe I took the wrong way, and I have to really go back to the beginning and then to change the way, and maybe do it with other actions, or I don't have the right resources to do it, or I thought these actions were right, but no, I have to do it other way around. Then it's okay for us. If you're just reaching the goal that you set yourself, then we're really interested also in this progress and the process also.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Just a practical question as well, related to what happens after announcing the winners. So is it the case that the winners then receive the money immediately, or do they have to pay themselves and then get reimbursed by you? Are there kind of milestones that you have to reach and then you pay the money at different intervals? How does that work exactly?
So you will get the money. So the final decision will be made in June, I think. And then the contracts will be signed in July. So then you get the money, and you won't get, you get it beforehand. So you can get 80% beforehand, 80% of the sum that you applied for. And then after the final report and the financial and narrative report, of course, if you have finished your project, you write the final report, then you will get the last 20% of the money, which means you can spend 80% and then get the rest of it afterwards. Okay. And maybe this is also quite important, that the time frame is maybe just take into consideration that it ends in March 2017 already. So you get the money in July, and then it's until March 2017 that you have to spend the money. But, and this is also a question I hear quite often, your project doesn't have to fit in this frame because it's quite short. You can start earlier or you can start later, but you can just spend the money in this time frame from July to March. This is like due to restrictions from our own program from Advocate Europe.
Yeah, that makes sense as well.
Good.
Okay. So if no viewers have any questions, I mean, I hope that you don't, because I can't see them. But if you are still wanting to submit questions, obviously this isn't your final opportunity. We will be doing another one of these next week, and there'll obviously be the opportunity to write an email with a question to these guys or to us, and we'll pass it on. So don't worry if you've missed the chance today. Is there something else that you guys would like to add, Christina and Corina, before we?
Maybe the deadline, the 8th of March is the deadline for submitting the proposals at 6 o'clock p.m. And the deadline of the community award is 1 week later. So we just first collect all applications, and then you have the chance to vote for all of them. This is a little, so that it's a little bit unfair if you just could vote until the end of the deadline. So the community award ends at the 15th of March, and you can vote until then for this. Yeah, so the two most important deadlines. What else?
What else? I don't know. Just keep in mind that you can always edit your proposal, and we are really encouraging you to get active and to question, to comment, and to give feedback to each other and to share links and everything. We really want to build up an active community that exchanges, and yeah, hope to keep in touch.
Yeah, and if you have other questions, of course, we are reachable also via email and via phone. Facebook. So on Facebook, on the website, you find all the emails you need. On Facebook, we have, of course, we're on Facebook. We're getting a lot of questions there also. So feel free to contact us. Yeah.
And thank you, The Changer.
Yeah, thanks to The Changer for organizing this.
I've learned a lot as well, so. It's been great. Thank you very much, and yeah, guys, be in touch, and good luck.
Thank you. See you next week.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.